Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And today we have a wonderful double feature. It's Stravinsky, The Rite of Spring, and Petrushka together on one album. That's what makes this one of the greatest recordings ever, because they're both equally stupendous. They're both conducted by Seiji Ozawa, but with two different orchestras. One, The Rite of Spring with the Chicago Symphony, and two, Petrushka with the Boston Symphony. And wow, are they something special. This is RCA's high performance reissue. I think you also get fireworks. Yeah, you get fireworks too with Chicago. That was part of the Ozawa thing. Now the Ozawa legacy is in Ozawa. There's an Ozawa Chicago box, let's put it that way. And then there's this thing, this Petrushka, which has, by the way, Michael Tilson Thomas playing the solo piano when he was just a kid. Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of amazing when you think about it. You know, one of the things I pointed out with respect to these greatest ever things is that every piece of basic repertoire has amazing recordings, several amazing recordings at a minimum, all of which would qualify as some of the greatest recordings ever. Because when we talk about the greatest recordings ever, we're talking about the greatest recordings ever made. Doesn't mean necessarily the one and only recording of the piece of music in question. They just have to be great recordings. And this particular issue, this CD is just stupendous. The Rite of Spring is incredibly exciting. It's an amazing performance from a young conductor, and it has that youthful energy and drive and total lack of sentimentality that I think Stravinsky was looking for. Of course, no one's going to accuse the Rite of Spring of being sentimental, but what I mean is it just has that slash and burn enthusiasm, like a force of nature, which is what the Rite of Spring is, after all. That's what Stravinsky was attempting to illustrate, a force of nature, the explosion of spring and renewal of life. There is one tiny little bauble in the brass section in the sacrificial dance, which you may notice. I mean, you know, it's kind of interesting because everything else is going so well all the time, and then all of a sudden there's a rhythmic thingy at one point. But I have to say, it lasts about a third of a second, and you know, nothing is ever absolutely totally perfect. That's a fact. And I would much rather have that along the line, you know, in the course of the most thrilling and exciting sacrificial dance, or one of the most thrilling and exciting ever recorded, rather than one which is dull or uninteresting or not as fabulous. And I really haven't spoken about this recording very much, although I've always recommended it, but I haven't had a chance to really talk about it. I mean, this thing just smokes in the Rite of Spring, and also in Petrushka. Now, the Boston Symphony, let us remember, has a wonderful history of fabulous Petrushkas, because Pierre Monteux recorded a glorious Petrushka with them in stereo that was also here on RCA, and was one of Monteux's few stereo RCA recordings, and it's just wonderful. And this is just as wonderful. It has all the same qualities that Rite of Spring has. The amazingly confident handling, for the most part anyway, of rhythm, particularly in those outer tableaux, which are hard. I keep telling people this. You know, I've actually played Petrushka, and I have to say, and the Rite of Spring, and Petrushka is more difficult rhythmically in a lot of spots. It has more solo things. It's more chambery. But when the full orchestra is going in that first tableau, oh, it's difficult. It's hard to count. It's just hard to get through. It really is. And they sail through it wonderfully. Michael Tilson Thomas sounds terrific. And the sonics in both cases are really, really first class. It is amazing to me how good RCA sounded at this period, which was, let me see, this is 1968, 1969. And at the same time, they were taking over Philadelphia and Normandy from Columbia, and as often as not, sounding just like hell. They couldn't find a venue. They couldn't get good sonics. But, you know, this was beyond the living stereo period. This was after that, but they still knew how to make records, and they were making some tremendous recordings in Chicago. and some tremendous recordings in Boston. And Seiji Ozawa was up and coming then. He was young. He wasn't terribly well known. He was the what's his name, Mekhala of his generation. That is a young, stylish, photogenic, telegenic conductor that everybody was oohing and eyeing over, but he was delivering the goods. And I think it's really a very, very interesting thing to take Klaus Mekhala's horrid new Petrushka and compare it with this from a conductor who was, I guess, close to the same age. I don't know how close they were in age, but I mean, who was beginning his career and had a great orchestra. And what a difference in these two Stravinsky performances and Mekhala's Stravinsky performance. I challenge anyone out there today who thinks this guy, that Mekhala knows what he's doing, to play his Rite of Spring and Petrushka and then this. And be honest about what the difference is. Be really honest. These are stunning performances. Clearly two of the greatest recordings ever of the works in question. And if you haven't heard them, make it a point to. You will be very, very happy. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.